and 9.6 million deaths. 9.6 million died in 2018. Majority of cancers occur in low and middle-income countries. A number of new cases is expected to rise by 70% over the next 2 decades. So it is not that it is decreasing, it is actually increasing. So in the next 2 decades, it will probably hit, this is 18 million, probably 30 million, 40 million people being affected. What about here in Kenya? As I said, in Kenya, cancer is the 3rd leading cause of death after infectious diseases and cardiovascular diseases. It is ranking number 3. According to World Health Organization and through the Ministry of Health, it has revealed that in Kenya, 90 people die daily of cancer. It's like how many buses? A bus carries how many people? 32. So multiply that 3 times of everybody who enters that bus going to die, every day, not per week. This is daily. Then the annual incidence of cancer is estimated, this is in Kenya now, 47,000 new cases. That is almost 50,000 every year. And 32 or 33,000 died in 2018. Among men, prostate, esophageal, or colorectal. Colorectal means rectum and colon, the large intestine. Those are the 3 most common. Okay. While among women, breast, cervical, and esophageal. Esophagus, that is the throat. And this is, again, to show the incidence and the percentages. Lung cancer, 11%, breast, 11%, prostate, 7%, stomach, 8.2%. That is kind of, this is breast. Now the blue are the incidents or the cases that has been found, and the red are the mortality. So you can see breast, although we get so many people getting it, this is the interpretation, but not so many people die. Either because we are able to treat it through surgery, we are able to pick it up mapema. But there is one here that you can see the incidence is almost the same as the deaths. This one, lung. You find it is here. These people get lung cancer, but these ones die. Almost similar. And then this is 2018, both male and female. Esophagus, cervix, breast, stomach, prostate, colorectal, and the others. This part of the pie chart is others. So who gets cancer? What are the risk factors? Cancer can take decades to develop. It can take very many years before you discover that you are having it. And that is why most diagnosis is done when one is 65 years or older. So cancer in adults, particularly when you reach 60 and above, 50 and above, they are quite common. So one should take care to be checked. Risk factors, behavioral factors, that is like smoking, tobacco, harmful use of alcohol, unhealthy diet. You see what I was saying? Unhealthy diet once again comes in here. You'll be surprised sometimes you find people in Nairobi, it's like they don't take care of themselves. Near my office, Tomboya Street, somebody comes with a trolley, the one that they push with wheels, and starts cooking on the streets. Smokies, sausages, and people are lining up to buy. And you find cars passing hapo with a lot of dust, brown, and that dust, where is it going? To the same thing that these people are buying to eat. People should know, what are you taking into your mouth? Be careful. Don't let hunger drive you, so that you just find somebody cooking something and you don't know kama ni ya cat, sausage ya cat. Unajua kukona mtu alikuwa anapika pikia watu sausage ya cat huko Nakuru. As people are traveling towards Western, they stop and buy cat sausage and they don't know. So unhealthy diet and physical inactivity. If you are not active, it is a health risk. That's why I was saying, even walking, even if you don't pay to go to a gym, walk. You find a place you can walk. So physical inactivity is one of the risk factors. Biological risk factors, that is where there are some cancers are transmitted from parent, child to your child, like that, in a family line. And you find that there are some individuals who will get cancer because their parents had it. And that is simply because the genes that you carry, you inherited genes from your father and your mom. So if they have a weak gene, they transmit it to you. And that's why it is, even in the animal kingdom, there is no marriage between brother and sister or people who are closely related, to avoid that gene pool. Then the third one, risk factor, is environmental factors, exposure to chemicals, especially asbestos. This one causes even testicular tumors, this one. Aflatoxins, a topic that was very common recently. We were told that there are some flour companies that have aflatoxin. And they are making flour. We go and buy in the supermarket, we cook ugali. We don't know we are eating aflatoxin. It is caused by a virus that inhabits moldy grains like maize. If it is becoming moldy, that virus, that fungus, not virus, is a fungus called aspergillus. Then this doesn't really affect us much because this is white, UV light from the sun. We are protected by our skin color, so we are not really affected by that. But infections with these viruses, hepatitis B and C, HPV, EBV, HIV, all that, genetic risk factors, so all those. Then foods. What foods, if you eat, can cause cancer? Meat cooked at high temperatures form chemicals. If I asked you, people in Kenya generally, particularly Nairobi, they have this habit of wanting nyama choma. Anywhere you go, they opened several of them on the Eastern Bypass, from Ruiru towards the airport, called Kamakis. And you'll find so many cars stopped there, people buying meat, nyama choma and beer, all those things combined. And it has been found that when meat is prepared with open flame, then it changes DNA. And you are eating that meat, it also you get a problem from it. Not that we are saying don't eat nyama choma anymore, but make sure it is kiasi kidogo. Don't overeat kidogo. These barbecued meats, that's what I'm saying, barbecued, the one that people buying at Kamaki's and the rest of choma zones. But boiling is better than heating it in fire. Smoking, 5 top causes of cancer: smoking, diet, physical inactivity, sunlight, viruses, certain chemicals. Now, foods that will lower your risk. These are foods that will lower risk of having cancer. Ladies, do you know something called broccoli? Broccoli is very good. It helps you prevent cancer. There is broccoli, there is, what is the other one? The white one. Because broccoli is green. Cauliflower, yes, cauliflower. Those ones are very good. If you can make sure that your food has those, it is very good. Carrots. Several studies have found that eating more carrots is linked to decreased risk of certain types of cancer. Carrots, and they are common. These are common foods. Beans, high in fiber, and the studies have found that it protects against colorectal. And we found colorectal cancer being almost number 3 among the cancers that people are having in Kenya. Then various berries, cinnamon, nuts, olive oil, and turmeric. Turmeric, you buy them in the supermarket, they are usually kept the same position with the ginger. If you like ginger, you find turmeric next to it. Turmeric looks like ginger, but when you cut it, it's yellow inside. You know it? Yeah. So, what are the signs of cancer? Blood in urine. Sometimes when you start getting now blood in urine, you are in trouble. Hoarseness of voice, persistent lumps, that is swellings, obvious change in what or a mole, indigestion or difficult swallowing. For ladies, bleeding that comes with, and it's not period, unusual. Unexpected weight loss, you are this heavy, and then all of a sudden you start being kidogo, kama this guy, within a short time, and you cannot tell why. You start having night sweats, fever, itching, unasikia kujikuna, anal and genital area, persistent cough, especially cough that lasts more than a week. Usually if a homa gets you, you cough for a week, inaisha. Actually, it's self-limiting. So you don't have to take antibiotics. It is self-limiting. So all these things most likely are pointing to a problem, so you need to be aware. I've talked about that. Some people with cancer have bowel movements. Blood in stool. You start getting blood in stool. Should always be investigated, although sometimes blood in stool can be caused by some swellings we call hemorrhoids. Okay, and of course, hemorrhoids is not cancer. X-ray, we do colonoscopy, we do, it's recommended that people who are 50 years and above should have colonoscopy done to avoid colon cancer. or to be found early. Okay. Unexplained anemia. That means your blood level is low. When you walk, you feel fatigued, you unachoka haraka. And then when doctors check you, they find that you are blood is less. Anemia, but blood loss always causes deficiency. All right. So unless there is obvious loss of blood, then no. This is this represents 45% increase in incidence. This one we have done. We have discussed that. One of the problems we are having in Kenya is this, that we don't have enough staff. You'll find that these people called radiation oncologists, these are specialists using radiation. There are only 4. Huh? And then 6 medical oncologists. This is serving the 47 million of us. You know? And all these people, almost all of them are in Nairobi. 4 pediatric oncologists, cancers in children, there are only 4 specialists. 5 radiation therapists, technologists, oncology nurses, 3 medical physicists. Types of cancer, breast, cervical, we have done all this. We are moving a little bit faster now. In 2018, the deaths arising from these cancers, Kaposis. Kaposis is a cancer that comes from the skin, and it is common among people with HIV. Kaposis sarcoma. Colon cancer, 987, Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, all these prostate, stomach, breast, esophagus. Esophagus was the highest that year. Cancer deaths, this is now 2017. What I was trying to show here is that cervical cancer was higher than esophagus in 2017. In a difference of only 1 year, esophagus, the cancer of the throat overtook cervical. I don't know, for some reasons. Research needs to be done to find out why. Esophagus now, it was higher than cervix. What is the ministry doing? Ministry of Health, in conjunction with many people, many stakeholders, of course, they are doing a lot. This is, we are now in this era, 2017, 2022. This is like what you call strategic plan of a ministry. And their strategic plan is that they are calling them pillars. Pillar 1, they are dealing with prevention, early detection, and cancer screening. Like now, even what we are doing, it is helping you to be aware that cancers, you need to go for checkup for cancer. This is called awareness creation. We are creating awareness through, I don't know how many we are. Did you take the tally of the people here? These are the people, Bishop, you'll have helped, that they will not come down in 2-3 years with cancer because they have already went to be checked whether they have it, which is very good. That is prevention, early detection. Now, pillar 2 is about the diagnosis. Now, registration. You know, as we see, you have seen categories of this type, this type, this type. They are categorized and registered. And surveillance. Where is it more common? Last year, this year, there was a story in one of the media that Western Kenya have come down with a lot of cancer of the throat. And when they interviewed people there, they said it's because people there are using very hot tea. I don't know whether tea is the one that is bringing this. You take tea directly from the pot when it's boiling, and you start drinking, and it is in a shoma throat. That they are saying that's possible, possibility, we don't know. Pillar number 3 is now treatment, palliative care. How do you help those who have come up with this disease? How do you improve their lives from the time you make diagnosis to the time God takes them home? To increase life into their days, not to increase days in their lives. You see the difference? Period number 4, coordination, because there are so many people dealing with cancer. Different hospitals, Aga Khan has their own, Kenyatta Hospital, Nairobi Hospital, and many other centers. How do you coordinate those people who are coming up with this disease, partnership and financing for cancer control? And then monitoring and evaluation. And doing research. Research is very important because it will help us to know how to help ourselves. And that is the conclusion of this matter. This story, I'll leave it for another day. It is very similar to what I told you about my friend Isaac Ochieng. He's a friend of mine who we grew up together when we were boys. In fact, in my wedding, he was my best man. He also started having little problems in May this year. And then through x-rays and all those tests, we find that he has a brain tumor, the same one that has taken Ochieng, very, very rapidly growing. May, and by September he was gone. 3 months. It's taking from diagnosis to death. So we arrested him in September. So this disease is extremely important. We need to take care. When you are supposed to go for checkup, please go. When you see your relative behaving in a certain way, don't think he's abnormal, just take him to a doctor. This friend of mine was brought to me by his sisters. They told me he's walking in a funny gait. So that's the end. I hope I'll be able to take the questions now to clarify where you are not sure and things like that.
Any question? We can take 2. 1, 2. Mama Sasa? Yes.
Thank you for taking us through the session. Okay, sorry for that. Thank you for the session you have taken us through, Doctor. But I would like to go back to the session we had earlier on female reproductive diseases. Yes. So there is this case of growth in the reproductive system of women, commonly known as fibroids. And it is happening in ladies who are not married and even ladies who are married. Can you explain further? Yes.
Ngine ndio ajibu zote pamoja. Karibu dada.
Okay, thank you very much. I have 2 questions. My first question goes to the previous session. You said something about UTI, but you didn't expound on that. I would like to know the causes of UTI and the symptoms and signs. And the second question comes from, is a person with a condition of hydrocephalus, is this person prone to the cancer of the brain?
Aya, hiyo maswali mawili inaonekana nyinyi kasa asubuhi ni mambo ya kuzaa na nini? Kuna ingine hapo.
Yeah, this one also goes to the previous session in terms of the one that you started with this afternoon. Does it mean if I'm underweight and I eat too much food at night, it will help me gain the weight I'm supposed to have? So that is one of the questions that has come. I also have one question now concerning this. Is it medically proven that if you maintain your body pH being, you like not acidic, you're able to control that growth of those cells that are cancerous? Like if you're able to maintain it pure alkaline, is it possible? Is it really proven? Is it something that you can advise us that we eat food and drinks or anything that will make our body pH to be on the alkaline side rather than acidic? Yes.
Yes, let me first answer the question of fibroids. I think that was the first one. In this session, I was trying to pick just certain areas without really going to too much detail, because if there's too much detail, we will stay here another day. It's too much. The information is just too much. Now, uterine fibroids are swellings that occur in women who, for some reason, have not given birth. Say when you go into reproductive age in women starts from 15. Okay, of course not many get babies at that very early age, and it goes all the way to 49. That is what we call the reproductive age, 15 to 49. So during this reproductive age, a lady stays, say, 20 years without getting children. The uterus just starts swelling. And our lecturers, when I was in school, used to teach us, or used to say in a jocular way, that a uterus denied children, a uterus that is denied children, consoles itself with fibroids. Did you get that? It is consoling itself because you have denied it children. So how then do you go about it? For ladies who have children and also have come down with fibroid, if you look at the characteristic of that is that these stop at some point, or the age between one child to the next child is too big. In other words, when a lady is pregnant, the predominant hormone, the main hormone during pregnancy is called progesterone. Progesterone. And that prevents you from getting fibroids. Or if they are there, they stop growing. Now, when you are not pregnant, the predominant hormone is called estrogen. And estrogen, to us as now scientists, we are seeing it is the fuel that inafanya mtu apate fibroids. So in other words, what am I saying? I'm saying break the cycle of estrogen with progesterone. In other words, get a baby, uolewe haraka. Don't wait until you are 35 and above ndio unatafuta mzee. Get married mapema raise your children to fulfill the law of God, that go out there and multiply and fill the earth. Now,
Ndio anasema wandugu, hii uwaja ni mzuri. Wadada ndio hao, mko hapo, maripoti mniletee ni wafanya harusi haraka. Lakini hapana guza mbele, nitakupa ruhusa ya kuguza siku ya harusi. Baada ya harusi guza sana. Huu ni mtu wako. Asante.
Then the other question which was asked by Dada there, just remind me, I think I'm getting confused. Oh yeah, the UTI. What are the causes? The causes of UTI, that is urinary tract infection, can be, most of them are bacterial. But you can have viruses, you can have fungus, like Candida. But almost 90% you find it's actually bacterial caused. And the bacteria are so many. There are tens and hundreds of bacteria that can cause UTI. The most common ones are usually not even sexually transmitted. You pick them from your behavior, like going to the toilet, such issues. Therefore, this is an area I like cautioning people that, especially ladies, our daughters, ukipata UTI, don't just run and accuse your mzee that, oh, you have slept outside. Sometimes it's not related to that. And it's good because it's very easy to test and find out what is it that is causing UTI. One, you do just urinary culture and sensitivity. And culture will bring, oh, this is a bacteria called Klebsiella, it's a bacteria called Staphylococcus, it's a bacteria called this. It now comes with a name, not UTI. Okay? Yes. Then there was a question that came from you. Oh, okay. This is because I said if you eat too much in the evening when you are going to bed, most of that food is actually stored as fat. Well, you may achieve that, but sometimes there are people, whether they eat too much or too little, they will not add weight, no matter what you eat. Even ukimpatia nguruwe ya kule, you still remain their own weight, small weight. So it will not help. But the important thing is the portions I mentioned. If you increase the carbohydrates, you increase proteins, and then you reduce on veggies, then you put on weight. Yeah. Was there another one? The other one was about the body pH. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you have done a bit of reading because the foods that can give you, they are called antioxidants, and that is where you are bringing the idea of pH. Particularly fruits. There are fruits that give you antioxidation, because it appears the oxidation of certain things in your body has been linked to cancer. So any fruit that will give you, or any food that will give you antioxidation helps. And there are many. Particularly most of the fruits are in that category. I mentioned the other day when we were in Kikope about matomoko, and another one called sour sauce, which is very similar. The skin looks very similar to it. They are very good for anti-cancer of prostate for men. In fact, I normally call it medicine ya wazee. So eat a lot of it, and of course, trust God in the things that you are doing, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Amen? Mm.
She had a question number 2. Ile shida ya kichwa. Ni kichwa ni miguu.
Oh yeah, the hydrocephalus. Oh. Now let me explain. Maybe the audience don't know what hydrocephalus means. Hydrocephalus is a child that is born, and normally the brain produces a fluid called CSF. CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid, which is very clear. It's just like very clear water. And that water perfuses or cleans the brain. It goes to the spine, all the way to the down there, then climbs again. It is the similar thing to the blood, the way the blood is doing in your body. But in the brain, we have this fluid that is flowing, circulating. Now, in the channels that this water is flowing, if it is blocked, and normally at the base of the brain, you can have those channels blocked, such that now, instead of that fluid going all the way to the spine, it does not. And it's being produced by the minute. So what happens? So it starts becoming too much. There is no excess way of, doesn't go beyond the brain area. So it becomes too much. And the treatment is actually to put an artificial shunt between the brain and the spine. And that is what my friend huyu Ochieng alifanyiwa kwanza. Akawekwa hiyo shunt to relieve the pressure. So, however, if that is when you are an adult, what I've described is when you are an adult. But if you are a child, you see the brain has not, the skull is still soft. So you see children, hapa juu, kifanya hivi, it means the bones have not fused. And because that is a weak area, the head starts growing big because of the pressure inside, because that fluid is not flowing. So it becomes so big, the eyes are almost popping out. That is what is called hydrocephalus. Hydro means, of course you can guess, water. Cephalus means head. So it's a watery head. The actual meaning. But it doesn't lead to cancer. Yeah.
Amen. That's powerful.